Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. It's Monday. Oh my gosh, we made it through another week. We sure did. How was your crafting going along? Did you have a good week? Did you touch one thing? Did you put at least one stitch on something, whether it's knitting or crocheting? Because if you did, that's progress and that's enough. I did that over and over. It was really a crazy week crafting wise. It really was. I had goals. And sometimes it's not a good thing. Sometimes when I have goals, there's a spirit inside of me that rebels and says, that's nice. That's so fantastic that you sat down and wrote out goals or at least thought about them. That's nice because it's not happening. This week, that particular spirit did not crush me. There you go. So hopefully that is the case with you too. You know, because sometimes we just get bogged down. It's life. That's what happens. But I got stuff done. Well, okay, I got stuff worked on. Yes, I did. I did work on some stuff. I overcame some challenges and I pushed myself more than I realized. I really did. So let's start off with, hey, how about I show the shawl that I showed on Thursday? This is a crochet shawl. It is called the Laura Shawl by Lily Go. I'll have that link down below. And you can do multiple sizes of this shawl. And I was working on this with someone like the Zauber ball that has 7 little mini balls all in a ring. And it equals up to 100 grams and it does a nice gradient. So I had two of those and both in the yellows. One was white, going white to yellow. Oh, dropped a little ball. And the other one, see, look, and the other one was going the black to the yellow. So doing 2 full rings, I thought I could do a light to a dark shawl. But I wasn't paying attention, go figure, when I was working with it the first time. And I started to work on, I thought I had more yarn than I did. And I was trying to do the larger instructions. Oh no, I wasn't gonna have enough yarn. I mean, hello, it tells you that very plain and clear if you would open your eyes and read, which obviously I did not. So I had to rip out a whole bunch and then I got back onto it. I'm like, okay, I'm doing really good. And then I had an error. Yes, I did. You know, and that was after ripping out a bunch. I'm like, okay, and it stayed in timeout for a while. So my goal this week, after I showed that on Thursday, was to get enough of it into the second ring. Oh yeah, this is the second ring. There's 7 balls in it. This is number 2. So I've got 5 full ones and then this left. So I did do what I wanted to do. I found my mistake. I had to pull all that out and then recrochet that. And then I went ahead and added to it. So I'm feeling victory. Yay, victory. And let's see, this is what I have so far. So you see that nice light, you know, the white and everything going all the way to the, you know, center-ish mark and then getting into that darker color. So that is wonderful. So it has this part right here, that's the same, but you know, you're doing a little bit different on these, this border, and the border is built in. So it has sections A, B, C, D, but it has sections A, part 1 and part 2, and then B, and then C. You know, it has those types of things. And I kept trying to add more to it. I have, with the amount of yarn that I have left, I have to repeat this one, this one, this one on the other side. And there we go. So this is yarn wise and everything, or at least those little nubbies, 2/3. I'm hoping I have enough. I should. We'll make it work. I'll make it work. It will work. There you go. And then I just saw, after you finish crocheting all of this, then you go around, you know, just like, I think it's double crochets all the way around. I'm not going to do that. The reason I'm not going to do that is what I'll end up having left is the black. And not that I would have enough to go all the way around. I don't want it different colors all the way through. I like the way that that gradiated. And I don't want black around the white or whatever color. You know, I could get a different color. For that matter, I could grab orange, right? I could. It might look odd, but I could do it. So I'm going to leave it like this. I think I might have to block it really aggressively to make this large enough to be kind of a shawl, because you know, I don't know. I guess because that's about it. That's all it's, let me see. I think that's about as large as you would get it in the front. I believe that is it. You know, so it's not quite as big as what I was thinking, but that's on me because that's the yarn I picked. No big deal. Let me put this back up without, you know, trying to cover everything. There we go. Hi, everybody. Hi. There. So I look at this as success. I overcame my errors and my starts and my stops and my whatevers, and I've just got 5.5 of those little mini balls to go. And it's crochet, so it is faster if you don't make mistakes. Yeah, it's a lot faster if you actually read the pattern. It actually has words and tells you. It really does. I just thought I knew what I was doing and just continued on. And truthfully, if I would have used one of these big cakes, something like this, if I would have used this, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have had plenty. I could have made a larger shawl and went, oh, well, it's bigger than I expected. Cool. But that's not what I chose. So on me. Not a big deal, but still success. So really happy to have this back. This is part of my Things We're Making Thursday series, which this month is shawls. So it's got me back into working on some of the shawls. I finished one that I had started in May, but I finished it this month because of the whole prompt with the Thursdays. And I'm hoping to get this one done also in the month of September. That would be really cool to get 2 shawls finished. It's not there yet, but I have goals. I have aspirations. There we go, right? It's yarn. It's a good thing. It's yarn. We can do this. We've got this. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have? I've got stuff. I do. I have stuff. Do you want to see something I finished? Oh, I did. I finished. I'm going to make a mess now. Look at this. I know I got ends to weave in. I'm not worried about that. I got time. I got till Christmas. I got time. But that's a nice Christmas sock. This is the West Yorkshire sock yarn with contrasting heel and cuff. I don't remember the name, but there we go. And they match perfectly. I lined them up. That is the nice thing about that yarn. If you do start in the same spot, they are metered out, or however you want to call it. They're going to be exact. It's going to be exact. So if mismatched socks bother you, just a minute, I'm going to grab that skinny yarn. Whoa, there we go. Off camera. Off camera. Back on. Here we go. All right, because it fell off the table. This is the yarn that I use, and it's interesting because I did not expect such solid stripes with this. I know some of the other yarns that I used I thought it was going to be solid stripes, and it was nice, like blotched in variation stripes. I don't know how to describe it. It's purple ones I made. Love this. Absolutely love this. I've got plenty of yarn left to probably make another pair of socks, as long as I do the heel and toe and everything, and maybe not as large of a pair. I'll have to measure that. I think it's about 45 grams left. I don't remember. But that's nice. That is one of the nice things with doing the contrast with the heel, toe, and cuff with another thing. If you like your main color yarn, you can potentially get 2 pairs of socks out of it. Yay, that's fantastic. And it did make it really easy for me to match up. I count my rows on my socks. Not everyone does. Some measure, some count. I count. And with this, I didn't necessarily have to count. I just knew where I stopped at each repeat. And since I know with this yarn, they're going to be a perfect pair, I didn't have to worry about counting. So I did like that. That was wonderful. So I got this pair done with all my ends, all my spaghetti ends. It's okay. I did it. So I got something done. So I think this is like pair number 5. So I got to get a move on. I have got to get a move on. I do 10 pair. I thought I was farther ahead. I do 10 pair a year at least for Christmas. And it's September. Yeah, I got to get a move on. So I did start. You knew I started something this week, didn't you? I know you did. I kept trying to say, like, I've got big projects. I'm going to work on my big projects, said in my most biggest and bravest voice. Ha, 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 I can do it. I know, I know. Yeah, I succumbed. I did. But, you know, yeah, in my defense, it was really pretty. Do you remember the yarn I got in my Aberdeen wool mystery bags? I got all of that sock yarn. I had to try it. I did. And this is such a nice, look at that. Look at that. It's, you know, it's a great color. It's a good color for guy or girl, but it's a nice classic manly color, you know, that type of thing. And it's so nice. It's so pretty. And I've got you know, sparkly stuff and things like this for the girls, I need to make some more choices for the men folk in my family. Now, truthfully, the men folk in my family would wear those too. They don't care, right? They got no qualms, not a big deal. As a matter of fact, my son last year asked me if I'd make him a pair of sparkle socks. Of course I did. And this, had I found this last year, 100% would have been his. Because yes, it's sparkle, but it doesn't scream like neon pink. You know what I'm getting at, right? You know, so I mean, it's definitely Christmas sparkle holiday, but it's not, I don't look at it as like a feminine sparkle, if that makes any sense. I know, we're all weird. So I got this yarn, and this is KFI Collection Indulgence Organic Sock, Organic Merino Wool Blend. And it has a free sock pattern on the inside of the label, but I didn't check that one out. I just, you know, my generic sock pattern, right? This is a 75% organic wool, 25% polymade, 459 yards for the 100 grams. It feels like a great sock yarn, so I wanted to start it. You know, I mean, I just got it. And then I got this. Look, see, those go together, don't they? This is a softer wool than this. This is more of a crunchy wool, if you want to call it that. I love that for socks. So this is the Barocco vintage sock. I like Barocco yarn. Let's see. And this is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon, 100 grams, 437 yards. I thought these two would be perfect together. So I started the socks. Now, the interesting thing is, what would you expect that to come up as? I mean, look at that. You got the grays, the maroonish color, the mustard that I love so much, some creams, some whites, you know, all in there. I did not expect it to look the way it does. You tell me. Maybe I'm just being weird and I'm the only one. Oh, I'm about to, why is it I get ready to show these things and I like to pull stitches off the sock just to make it more difficult? It's okay, it was only a couple. It's fine, I got it, it's fine. So here we go. This is the Barocco Comfort, and I generally do a 2x2 rib. This time I decided to do 1x1. I cast on 64 stitches, and then I go even until I want to start the heel, but it's just straight stripes. Nothing else to it. I didn't expect that with the way that this is wound. I'm not sure what I expected, but I did not expect such almost even rows per the stripes too. You know, you're getting about the same rounds per color pattern. And I haven't met the repeat, you know, like here, you've got that repeat right here, you know, green, red, mustard, blue, green, red, mustard, blue, right? And I've not gotten the repeat. I've got the beige, the cream, brown, beige, mustard, cream, gray, you know, so I haven't hit that repeat yet. So it seems like it's got a pretty long one because, you know, look at all the colors here. But of course I had to start another stock. So this is what, stocks number 6. I gotta get a move on. Yeah, I gotta get a move. I thought I was farther ahead than that, but evidently I'm not. So that's where I'm at. And yeah, so look for more socks from me recently. Look for more socks from me. I think it kind of stressed me. Not stresses, that's harsh. It didn't really stress me. I think it more concerned me when I did my monthly video, you know, where I pull everything together and go, what did I actually do in the month? Because in my mind, I do a lot. And then in reality, some months more than others. We know how that goes. So I did my monthly video and I'm looking through everything and I had one pair of socks done. And that was the purple ones, I think. Yeah, it was just one pair. I just made one pair in the month of August. I'm like, oh, I gotta get a move on, you know, because I didn't even start doing socks until, what was it, end of June, July? You know, I'm like, you know, I've been doing a lot of yakking. Better get those needles out, right? Okay, so there we go. So I did get something done. Yay. And then I worked on big things. Yeah, I worked on big things. Jumping in with the shawl, very proud of that. Finished a pair of socks. Socks are big things. I know it does not look like a big thing, but that's a lot of stitches. Socks are big things. So getting a pair of socks done, yay. And let's see, did you guys see my blanket? You did. You saw my blanket. Oh my gosh, I love my blanket. And I have a picture. I did show this yesterday, and you know, obviously I'd worked on it a whole bunch, but then after my video, I added another round because yeah, why wouldn't I? So say I added this round right here, right there, and it goes that pink. up there. And now look here, look, it's not just one square. Yay. So that is exciting. And there it is on the other side. So the cool thing on this is, how many colors did I use? I don't remember. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 colors. Five different colors of Big Twist Rave is what I'm using for this particular blanket, because I was really curious, how is that going to look with doing this with the squares, right? Going around in circles like that, when the colors transition from one cake to the next. Not only each cake transitions on here. All right, I just finished one of these, right? This is the pink that I just added. So you get that pink and the black, and then the green, that electric green, is also that green to black like this. So I had to put a color in between because I didn't want black squares on top of black squares, because let's face it, some of those, you can see how much black there is in there. Solid black, doesn't even have that hint of pink. You're gonna have solid black squares. So I didn't want that in there, you know, black against black. But yeah, you can see how you've got some solid black squares there on the different rounds. So I was very curious how that color was going to play, since it switches. Like right here, you can see on this round, you've got that blue on this side, and then it's the green over here on this side as it goes into that different colorway. So that's the same round, right? That hot green, that's the same as this blue. So I thought that would be just kind of a neat thing to let it just do its thing. And what I love about this is, yeah, you grab it, and you know, the first round, obviously, you made 1 square, cut your yarn. The next one, you're making 4 squares, cut your yarn. Then the next one, you're making 8 squares, then 12 squares. Okay, when you get going, you get to go for a long time before you have to cut your yarn, which is fantastic. And there's a lot of squares in here, so as the yarn transitions, you have just different gradiating squares, and it just looks so much more patchwork as it plays in together. So tell me the truth. Would you consider this a feminine blanket, a masculine blanket, or a neutral blanket? I mean, obviously it's got all these bright, beautiful colors. I really think this is a neutral. I think that this one, a boy or a girl would gravitate towards, and which is what I wanted, even though you've got that pinks and the purples, but you've also got the bright blues and with the neons in there. I don't know if I would necessarily think of this as feminine. I mean, it could be either. So more neutral, just like whoever gravitates towards it first. And that's what I was going for. So this one, if you're new to my channel, I'll put a link to a tutorial on how to make that blanket. That is a traditional quilt pattern called the Trip Around the World. And if you would like to join in, play along, or what have you, if you complete one of those blankets, you can donate it if you choose to. You don't have to. But if you complete one of those blankets by the end of October and send me a picture, you will be entered into winning a box of something that I put together, right? Yarny goodness, we know how that goes. If you're overseas, then it would be monetary, something, PayPal, Amazon, or something like that. So everyone's welcome, but that's, you know, here nor there. That's not what this one's about. But yeah, if you wanted to, great. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm making that and I'm shipping it off to Camp Boggy Creek. That is my thing for that particular blanket. And that's why I was asking what you think. Is that feminine, masculine, or neutral? Because a lot of times the blankets come in and they have more of a feminine flair to them. Well, because, you know, I don't know, a lot of us are women making them. I don't know, whatever. So I was trying to make some things that are more neutral. It could be either way, but I love the neons, right? And I had all those brights to play with. So that's where that one came in. And my own curiosity. I just 100% my own curiosity on how that was going to work out. So really thrilled with that. I'm like, oh, how much fun is that? I love it. I mean, so much so that I got the other row of squares. I'm like, yay. And now, because of that, I get to cut my yarn more often now, but that's okay, right? Because now my next row is going to be going from right here to right here, because I'm filling in those corners, you know, and then I do that on all 4 corners, and each row is going to be less and less squares until it gets down to 1 square. So I have already gone to my largest, and now I'm going back down to the smallest, and it's just really exciting. And you can have so much fun with your color play on this. I like it. I've done them with 3 colors before. I like it the best with 4 or more. 3 was fine, but I do like it better with 4 or more colors. That's just my preference. And this one, it just looks like there's a whole lot more than that because, well, it's the way they change colors and the chaotic and stuff. There you go. So I had fun with that. And then I have another thing that I have been working on, to the great joy and delight of my husband, is his latest sweater. Yeah, I know. That man is spoiled and I love him. It's just how that goes. So I'm making another sweater for him. This one is fingering weight yarn. It is Arcane Fiberworks. The color I am using is Phenix Rising for the body, and the charcoal for the contrasting for the cuffs and the neckline and all that other stuff. So fingering weight, my husband is a 2X. So, you know, there you go. I made a sweater for myself fingering weight, and I used 4 hanks of yarn, all of it. And for him, I'm not sure how much I'm going to use, but I have enough. He bought me 5 of the Phenix Rising and 2 of the charcoal. Is that overkill? Maybe, but I have a collection. Okay, just saying. Don't be all judgy. I like my yarn, right? So is it overkill for the sweater? I don't know. I've not made a fingering weight sweater for him before. This year is the first year that I have knit him sweaters. And I knit him a green one, which he's gave to our older son because he wants another one with different modifications. Because, well, like I said, did I mention he's spoiled? Yeah, I might have. So I gave him that one, and then he's already given it to our son because he wanted it. He got his Saint Nick sweater, which is an Aran weight Arcane Fiberworks yarn. So I finished that one. I have a Malabrigo sweater in worsted weight yarn at the Washted. Yeah, it's right here. I have this one going for him, and love this. Absolutely love this. I got this for me, and then he claimed it. And then after I've started it and I'm working on the other ones, he's like, oh, well, you could have this one. Does it work? Probably will. Not gonna lie, it probably will. I might change the collar on it. We don't know. But he's hilarious. So I got that because he's got other things in mind. Now that he's seen what I can do and my skills are getting better, guess what? When you make something again and again, you get better at it. And that's what I'm doing. So now that he sees that, he's like, oh, I want something different. I want this, I want that. I'm like, and he's adorable. So of course I'm gonna do it for him. So I have a 10-gram challenge that I put forth to me. I did to me. And with that, it's weighing out. I've got cute little scales and stuff like that because I'm a geek. I've got these things. And just try to knit through, because his sweater's knit, 10 grams a day on his sweater. The goal is to get his sweater done in 2 months, right? 10 grams a day, or however big this sweater turns out to be. Again, I don't know how much yarn I'm going to use, right? If I were using 40 grams and 10 grams a day, or 400 grams and 10 grams a day, I could get it in 40 days. That was my sweater, but his, I don't know. But I would like to get that done quicker. So I started this, and I should be at this filming 230 grams, which is where I am. When you see this tomorrow morning, Monday morning, I'll have to knit another 10 grams because that's just how that goes. But 23 days, I started this 23 days ago. So this right here is 230 grams. This is the body of his sweater. I just don't want to lose all my needles. There we go. That is the body of his sweater. Oh my gosh. And if I can get some pictures of him on it, I know it looks tiny, but when I put it on the, it does fit around him really, really nicely. And when I put it on the cables, it looks amazing. I don't have any cables right here, do I? It's because I have them all in another pile. Let's see, do I have one right here? Ooh, I do. I do have a try-on cable. Perfect. Because, you know, you want to see what it looks like, right? So I did the body of this on 4s. And the cuffs are on either 2.5 or 3. Either way, smaller than the body. There you go, smaller than the body. So look at those needles. They look so tiny to me. They're not tiny, but they look so tiny. These are tiny stitches. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of stitches. It's a lot of stitches. You know, and hubby's like, yeah, but remember, you're the one that wanted to make it, which is true. That's why when I saw this yarn, I was just going nuts over it. He thought I wanted it to make a sweater for myself. I wanted it to make, after I finish my fingering weight sweater out of Arcane Fiberworks yarn, I wanted to make one for him in fingering weight. See, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is absolutely stunning. And it looks amazing. See, it goes. There we go. So it does fit. It is long enough for him. Now it's on to the sleeves. I'll be casting on the sleeves next. Yay. That's 2 full, this right here is 2 full balls of the Arcane Fiberworks Rising Phoenix fingering weight yarn. And this is 30 grams right here of the charcoal. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. But look at that. Isn't that crazy? But that's a 1x1 rib down there. And this is, as I like to refer to it, it's like a variation of like a waffle stitch. What you would see on thermal underwear. You know what I mean? That's what that looks like to me. That's what his kind of favorite thing is. Just that classic look. This is 3 skeins of the Washted, the Malabrigo Washted. And here we go. So I am on track. I am on track. Last week, I think when I showed it, I was not on track. So yeah, I had a lot of knitting to catch up on. I was behind a little bit, but right now, from the day I started, 23 days, 230 yards, and that's, or 230 grams, 23 days, 10 grams a day. Yes, I am on track. Yay! And got other things done, which was a push. I can tell you that right now. So if you do decide to do the 10-gram challenge, just let me know. It's just a comparing. Was this like aggressive? Yeah, yes, it has been. It really has. I didn't think it would be this aggressive. I thought that, well, I could work on this a little bit and everything else, and wouldn't be an issue or what have you, but it's been a bit much. Now, granted, that will make a huge difference if you decide to do that. It's just a challenge for yourself, that's all, right? Because sometimes we need to challenge ourselves. Is if you're using sport weight, DK weight, or worsted weight, you're not going to have as much yardage in that 10 grams. It should be a little bit quicker for you to go through the 10 grams, because you could think about it. Your worsted weight, 200, 220 yards per skein for 100 grams. Okay, then you're going through maybe 22 yards. I'm going through like 40 something. Yeah, on size 4s, and of course if you're using worsted weight, you're probably using 7s or 8s, on knitting and crocheting, bigger cooks, right? So you're going to go through it a lot faster. I don't think I chose wisely. For the challenge. If you want that, hey, I did it, and then what was it? I was watching somebody else and they were talking about bulky yarn. No, but bulky yarn, and like 100 grams, it was 76 yards, right? Because it was a bulky yarn. I'm like, oh, well, that's a good challenge. I just went through 7.5 yards. There you go. So depending on what you choose, it's really an easy goal to obtain. Let's put it that way. I did not choose wisely. At least I didn't choose lace weight, right? I think I'd be hurting somebody, probably myself. But at least I didn't choose the lace. Oh my gosh, that would be crazy. That would be absolutely crazy. So this is my first time doing 10 grams a day and just really paying attention and stuff. Now, were there some days that I didn't do 10? Yes, of course. But did I catch up? Yes, I did. So that's what matters, right? So I've done that. Really happy. So I am on track to get this done in 2 months from start to finish. I think that would be a very aggressive goal, something that I think last month I wouldn't have thought that I could have done. It just, I wouldn't have, right? And it wouldn't be a bash on myself, that's just something that is such a stretch goal. But this year, there's been a lot of stretch goals. My husband, since we've had the cold snap, yeah, it's been cooler. He was snuggled up underneath his blanket yesterday while we're watching TV. Hand knit blanket. First time for me ever making an adult size hand knit blanket. And of course it's for my husband because he's spoiled and I love him. So that's a big first. Knitting sweaters for him. First time this year. Obviously fingering weight, first time. Working with some of the different brioche techniques, really pushing forth with the class, first time this year. There's a lot of things, just really kind of stepping out and learning different things. Are you doing that too, or is it just me? Just kind of like, hey, I could do that. And some of it turns out really well, and some of it turns out I rip out a lot of stuff. but that's okay. I think that's kind of the thing with when you're learning something, is you got the trial and error. Sometimes things go perfectly and other times you struggle. But do you ever notice on some of the things that we've struggled to get right, they're the things that we're the most proud of, because we had a hurdle we had to overcome. It didn't just come to us easily. We had to work through it. We had to persevere. And then when you get there, you get to the finish line, the finished project, whatever it is, what your goal was at the beginning. When you finally get to that, it has more meaning. It has more value because we worked for it. We really pushed ourselves. That's where I'm at this year, is just pushing myself just a little bit more, a little bit beyond that comfort zone, a little bit like I could do that. And that's where my 10-gram challenge is. That's where his 2-month sweater is going to be, is, yeah, depending on how much yarn it is, it should be done in, you know, that 2-month time period. That's the whole body. I have the arms, the whole sleeves, the sleeves and the collared neck thing, right? That's, yeah, I don't know how much yarn that's going to be, but however it is, we'll get it done. And I'm pretty sure I'll have some people on here reminding me, going, hey, I haven't seen your sweater. Where you at? How you doing on your 10 grams? Right? So keeping each other accountable. And I would love to know if you are doing that too. It's so much fun to just step outside and do something a little bit more, you know, hey, I wasn't sure I was going to do that, right? That's where we're at. All right. Well, with that, I think that's everything that I've worked on this week. As I sat here, I'm looking at my cardigan going, oh, that needs some love too. You know, the sparkly one, the brown one that I started. Oh, you don't know? Did you forget? Oh, this thing, does this ring a bell? Look, that yarn. Does that ring a bell? That's sparkle. That's ice yarn. It's sparkly. It's got metallic in it, and it's got all sorts of different composition. And I wound this one, right? And then I started to knit. Oh, I should grab this one out again. This is nice. It was just sitting there. I forgot, because, you know, well, with the 10-gram challenge, I'm like, I'm a little busy. But look at this. This is a tin can knits pattern. It's called Harvest. It is a fantastic first cardigan. You can make it as long as you choose to, but look at that. Look at the play and how that yarn is working out. And here's my underarm right here. So I've got quite a bit. I think I've got to get about 17 inches. I think that's what it was saying for the cardigan length. Coincidentally enough, his body of his sweater said 17 inches too. And I'm talking about, yeah, okay. But yeah, so there you go. It's growing. And it's pretty. And this is this size 2 yarn that I'm using on, I think, size 7s or 8s. It's big needles. It's big needles for the size yarn. I do remember that. It's either 7s or 8s on this sport weight yarn. So you can always use bigger needles and get a bigger drape. Just saying. You know, it doesn't have to be really small, tight needles. It doesn't. You can do it. But anyway, there you go. That's just sitting right here in the bag, right underneath the camera that, you know, most of the times I completely conveniently forget about, but yeah. So I've got some big projects going on that need some love. That's a good way to put it. I think I'm gonna go get off the camera and finish out my 10 grams and everything. I've got them good for right now, but I got work in the morning, so wouldn't be bad to get ahead. You know what I'm getting at, right? Might be a good idea. With that, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.